Brent, thanks for joining me and congratulations again. Another CrossFit Games podium finish. I was there in the stands screaming along with everyone, breaking out into "Oh Canada." I'm kidding. Wasn't the first thing I came up with, but great Canadian representation on the podium this year. What felt different, if anything, this year about previous success you've had at the games compared to the last time you stood on the podium?
Man, it's like everything and nothing. It's like I could list off all the things, but I think every year, every year feels like it gets harder in a way. Just you're kind of older, you're kind of wiser, and it just sort of starts to mean more and more. And it's interesting. Like I got to obviously be there as Justin celebrated his win, which I was excited for him, and got to kind of see that youthful enjoyment of it. And there's this sort of deeper enjoyment in the success the older you become, I think, as you have to sort of like dedicate more and go through different trials and sort of tribulations throughout the years. And I'm sure he's going to have those in his career as well. But yeah, I think there's this like youthful excitement in 2017 when I got second on the podium, and just like couldn't believe it and proud of where I come from. And now it's sort of this like there've been kind of more dips and troughs and so on, and then to finally kind of get back up there and prove to myself that I was still obviously one of the best in the world and could hang with the best in the world. And everything, and all these things I've been working on are sort of slowly starting to see improvements in like different techniques in my training, different training strategies all year to get better at things. And yeah, so it's definitely every single victory and defeat is different. And this one, yeah, there's a lot of things, but it was satisfying. Yeah.
What does it feel like to be back on the podium with someone who's, it seems like your careers are tied together in the best ways with Patrick Vellner? I know he's a friend, fellow Canadian. What does that mean to you? And I know you're not necessarily speaking for him, but you can if you want. What does it mean to you to stand on the podium with someone who you've been at this with for a while?
Yeah, definitely. We've had like a very similar trajectory, right? We went to the Invitational Team Canada twice. We went to our first CrossFit Games in 2016, and that's where we met, was in 2016. And we got to know each other there. We became friends right away, just like had a lot in common. We were both sort of, had lived the student athlete life, sort of in college, university, and grew up only 3 hours apart from each other. We didn't know each other at the time, but same age. And yeah, just to share this with Pat and like text him throughout the year, and get to see him every competition. It's sort of like I only see him in person when I compete, and so it's this strange, like he's an enemy. I want to obviously beat him, but I do want him to have a great competition. And he's one of the people I look forward to most when these competitions happen, other than, maybe if my family come to visit, or like my coaches. Like Pat's right up there on that list. Get to see him, get to see his family, get to see his wife, and go through these sort of ups and downs in the years with him. And hopefully, I think it's been more ups than down, which we're lucky to have. And it's good to finally share the podium with him at the games. We haven't officially stood on the podium together at the CrossFit Games yet, so this is the first time. He duped me out in 2016, and wasn't able to happen officially since then. So it's good.
Now, you mentioned this was your first time competing in person in about 20 months. Did you feel nervous or rusty, or did it kind of just all come back pretty quickly?
Yeah, I was preparing mentally as much as I could. I was doing some visualization. I remember saying to my wife, like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, is this going to be some sort of jarring? Am I going to like freeze up or something? It was nice that it started with like the swim, and that was sort of this like gradual introduction. There's no fans, and obviously when you're swimming, it's just kind of you in the water anyway. A little bit of bumping with some fins at the beginning there, and then the first workout was something I was very comfortable with, like just push the sled, flip the tire, that kind of thing. And it sort of naturally progressed from there, each event. And I remember at the end of the first day, my wife asked me like, oh, like how was it? What did it feel like out there? And I said, it actually felt really small. And she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, like by the end of the day, I was really just focused on like me and my judge and what I was doing. And, I could kind of feel the pace of like Saxon Panchik and Justin and Vellner. And I was kind of keeping an eye on them. And And I think in a really positive way, I just probably cared less about the fans than I've ever cared about the fans during the actual workouts. I use their energy to kind of propel me forward, and I appreciate them cheering for me, but maybe it's just kind of come with some maturity and some age. Like, I just didn't really care what they thought about my performance. I was just there to do my best, and I was really, really happy with focusing on that and being proud of my own results for the sake of themselves. And then listening to what my coaches had to say and moving on, and wasn't afraid to look silly, wasn't afraid to get dirty if I had to, or get sloppy, or, take big breaks or take small, whatever that looked like. If I came last in a workout, I was just like, well, that's, don't really care. That's kind of on me. And I think, yeah. So luckily after, 20 months off, I still got it. So.
Well, as far as looking silly, I mean, freestanding handstand push-ups, everyone looked silly at some point during that workout, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about favorite event on the week. What was your favorite?
There were so many. I think it's really just like little moments that I kind of cherish, and even from like the 2018 games, probably my favorite moment was in the second event on the crit. Ben Smith, we're in this group, and he yells to the group, "Guys, we got to catch that lead pack." And we're like, okay. And we all, we had a pack of 5 and there's another pack of 6, and we caught them. And it was that little moment that wasn't really caught on camera that was kind of special for me. And, in this one, it was, in that last event, I knew it was me and Bjorgman were racing kind of for that 3rd place spot. And, during the pull-ups, I'm chalking, and I kind of look over to see where he is, and he looks back to see me, and we lock eyes. It's just like little cool kind of intimate things like that you get to share with the competitors. Just little things like that mean a lot to me. And then really, other than that, it was the satisfaction after some events, feeling like some of the training that my coaches and we'd kind of worked on all year, we were starting to sort of reap the rewards from it. I think, I felt like I was starting to see that in like a handstand push-up workout in the quarterfinals. And I feel like, the thruster workout this year, we were working on a lot of squat speed stuff, and, to feel like I was really able to explode out of those squats for all 55 reps at 185 was a really kind of important milestone in my trajectory as I continue to train, that, some of the stuff we were working on was working, and, we're going to get better at it even this year. So.
Any workouts surprise you in a good way or a bad way?
Yeah, I was expecting to do better on the yoke, mm-hmm. Right? We've had 2 yoke workouts at the CrossFit Games, and both of them went really well for me. And, kind of like similar loading, not quite for the same duration. And so this yoke workout didn't go as well. I kind of, on that the second window of time, I was hoping to finish the workout, and, it's kind of right there in the mix with Vellner and Justin. And then they just kind of blew by me, and I had to do a 3rd round. There were a lot of things. I'm making a huge list after the weekend, as I always do, and some stuff to work on for sure.
Well, I mean, I could play into your nickname there, the professor, but you're known for you're known for writing things down. Well, what is how are you feeling heading into next season? I mean, do you have a particular game plan? Do you have any competitions or like tune-ups planned between now and next season? Anything like that?
Yeah, I'll announce those later. I'm not super sure. Follow me on Instagram. But nothing like official yet. But yeah, I'm hoping to do some sort of competing before the Open. The Open's like February 25th, so I'll be competing between now and then at an in-person competition. I think hopefully at least 1, maybe 2. Really just want to get better. Like, really want to focus on putting in the training to ensure that I qualify again next year for the CrossFit Games, and then, be in a position where, physically, I can win the CrossFit Games. I think that this weekend, really, really happy with where I finished, happy with my execution, happy with my effort. We were coming here to try to win, and, as much as I wanted to win, even with like a flawless execution, I think with the actual abilities I had this weekend, probably not quite in the cards. Mm-hmm. Justin had a really smooth, consistent performance, and I have to be honest with that. It's one thing if it's like, oh, I made a bunch of like real bonehead mistakes, then it's like, okay, then that was like a strategic and a mental game shift. But it was really more like, like physically you need to be better. There's some things that can get better. A lot of the things that I worked on this year made a lot of improvements. And now there's a couple other things that, I mean, for example, the running workout, right? I did like pretty horrific in the running total bar workout. That was one of my lowest scores of the weekend. And what's exciting about that is historically there has been a time where that kind of workout has been like a top finish for me. So it's like, I know what to do there. I know that's like in the tank somewhere. I just need to refill it. So excited to get back to work on something like that. But yeah, so I don't have any official off-season scoop plans, but just train hard, eat lots, sleep good, stuff like that.
Is there anyone on the men's side? I mean, the athlete that I think comes to mind is Guy Mayeros, and a lot of folks were kind of surprised by his performance, and he certainly played to the crowd quite effectively over the course of the weekend. Is there anyone on the men's side that surprised you with what they brought to the game this year? Or to the games, I should say.
Games. I won't say surprised, but I was really impressed by Lazar Dukic. He was my pick for the leading into the weekend. I said to my wife, I was like, I think he's going to be the top ranked rookie. Mm-hmm. And did he get more points in? I guess Guy wasn't a rookie.
Yeah, he's not a rookie,
although Guy is quite young. So Lazar's 25 years old from Serbia. Him and his brother both made it, and they both have a lot of potential. Lazar's a professional. Like he takes it real seriously. He pours his heart out into each workout. Really well-rounded athlete, and he's won an open workout. Worldwide. So I competed against him in 2019 in Dubai. And both Vellner and me were like, oh, this guy's got the stuff, like he's got all the pieces there. There's some things he needs to work on, but he kind of like understands how those things need to be fixed. Like he just has a good, mature, athletic mind about the whole thing.
The last question I have for you, and this is one that's there's no right or wrong answer because it's just your opinion. So the games are in Madison next year, but after that, it's kind of up for bid. CrossFit's released an RFP. Some folks have floated potential international locations. I think it's probably going to stay in the United States if we were guessing. Is there any city or location, could be international or domestic, where you would really like to see the games, or even a region where you might like to see the games?
It's a great question. The Okanagan of British Columbia is beautiful this time of year. That's where I live. No, I don't expect them to go there. I've really liked Madison. I think everyone who comes here really enjoys being here. But I would like to see it move just for some novelty. I think it was so cool when it left California. Obviously that venue was incredible, but like I think everyone got a little sick of watching the berm run.
Yeah,
everyone run. And so with that new location comes some creativity from the programming and some options. For like a different type of swim, or maybe there's some big hill or a mountain nearby or whatever that looks like. And I think that's important. Hopefully nowhere too hot. Obviously, if the games is going to be in August, that's the hottest time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, and so hopefully nowhere that's like so hot that the event literally just becomes about the heat. I think it'd be cool to see it in Europe. I'm not saying it'll go there. I'm not saying it has to go there, but obviously Europe is it's a hotbed for CrossFit, and I think like having a new fan base would be a lot of fun, but it'd be difficult given that obviously so much of the event staff and that kind of the way the machine works with the volunteers, there's kind of this like there's a lot of these volunteers and the judges and all these people that are all American, and it works. And so to try to uproot that and either ship all of them or get a new system would be troublesome, I imagine.
You mentioned games in Florida. I know Noah Olson's just kind of doing this right now. Like come down.
Yeah. Either wherever it goes would be cool. Hopefully they move it. I think that'd just be exciting for the sport. It'd be cool.
Well, we're 2 years out from that, so a little bit of time to guess and find out. Yeah. Well, Brent, where's the best place for people to follow up to date with you on social? And also, I'd be remiss or amiss, I always forget which it is, if I didn't mention the Professor Project as well.
Yeah, usually Instagram, that's kind of where it's all happening. So Fikowski on Instagram, and BrentFikowski.com. I've got a website, and then just like Google or check out the Professor Project, and got lots of got a training program on there, and kind of the method behind the madness is on there with some other, videos and stuff to help people get better. And it was cool bumping into people at the games and a few even masters athletes that, follow along and learned a lot from it. So it was cool to see that I do work so much on that kind of year round at home. And I forget that there are people on the other side that are like digesting it and like getting better. It's just, even though the numbers are there, it's like you don't get to put a face to those numbers. And now that it was cool at the games this weekend to meet those people and hear about, how they've used what I've been working on. So
Brent, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.